Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us in this episode of Dr. Linda's show. Today, we are going to be talking about how to build an eco friendly brand that actually changes the planet beyond buzzwords. And I have with me here someone who this is her area. She knows all about this. She has a business in this area. So, join me to welcome Jagruti. Please, over to you. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, hello everyone. This is Jagruti Dhande, and I'm the founder and CEO of Green Earth, which is an e-commerce platform especially for the sustainable and eco-friendly products. Thank you for having me, Linda.
Thank you. No problem. And for anyone watching us right now, so I have lots of questions that I'm going to be asking her. Of course, we start with understanding what her brand does, and we get into the topic, and there are lots of questions. Please, if you watch to the end or listen to the end, you have the opportunity to ask your question. You drop it as a comment. I will pick it and ask her, right? And if you're watching this as a replay or listening to it on podcast, you're not able to ask your own questions. Feel free to listen to the end, anyways, so that you see the questions that other people asked, right? And the answers that we gave them. So, Jagruti, back to you. Let's start from the beginning. What was the very first moment that planted the seed for your passion for sustainable innovation?
Yeah, so actually, I started like my journey doing like masters in industrial and systems engineering. So thereafter, after my education, I joined the electric vehicle company as a program manager, where I was leading the electric delivery programs. Yeah, that's when I was first like introduced to the word sustainability and what exactly it means and what is the impact of the sustainability and how important it is for our future. So that's when like working like for 5.5 years at various companies, electric vehicle companies, I got to know more about the term and like the different subcategory of it on like the different ways on how we can achieve that. That's when that was like the start of the journey, and afterwards I realized that I need to do something more, something that will help the consumers to include this sustainability into their daily livings, probably in like in their day-to-day activities without like spending much time or money. So wanted to have like a single platform for that, and that's when the Green Earth was born.
Hmm. Okay, because I think in answering that question, you have, entered into the other question I had for you, which is the origin story of Green Nuts. Do you have anything to add concerning how you started your business?
Yeah, of course. So it's like it was just like in probably like in 2020. I was reading an article, um, online article, which said like that there was a teen girl who said like the healthy foods are not cheap and the cheap foods are not healthy. And afterwards, like this is something that catch my eye. And eventually, when I was pregnant, I was more into like specific into looking for like healthy foods and some like the sustainable like non-toxic products, and which are like earth friendly products. And that's where I had a hard time looking for these kinds of products in the market. That's the time when I realized the need for having like a special platform which is curated just for the eco-friendly products, like a single platform where any consumer can easily go and um, they can look for their different like food categories or day to day activities or like products like toothbrush or their straws. So yeah, that's how the Green Earth was created.
Oh, nice. So it's more like you saw that need because in your own life you found it tasking to look for all these different products and find them, and you figured, okay, somebody else is probably also looking for this. It's nice. I went to the platform, right, which is the greennuts.com, and
Mhm.
I saw a lot of the products here. Is a very good idea. It's a very
Thank
good
you.
idea. Yeah. Okay. So, what does greennuts do? Like your brand, what do you do?
So Green Earth is basically an e-commerce platform which helps to which supports the small businesses and NGOs like women-led NGOs who are especially into manufacturing the eco-friendly products and the healthy food items. So we collaborate with these small businesses like the local businesses and NGOs and where we help them to we give them a global platform where they can reach to the large masses, and which will also help them that ultimately like help them to increase their revenue as well. And it also helps the product to reach the masses.
Mm, I see. So it's an e-commerce platform. Okay.
Mhm.
So, in terms of the products that are on this platform, I know, okay, they have is like one team which is being sustainable products, eco-friendly products. Like, but how does one know the kind of products that are on the platform? Is it all kinds of products? Are there some specific type of products that you carry?
So currently, we are focusing on the gluten-free and the food-specific gluten-free snacks or the millet-based snacks, and as well as the organic cotton hoodies and the daily use items such as like toothbrushes or the bamboo straws or some of the accessories like the bamboo earrings and so on. So it's currently we are working on these the high demand quantities and probably looking for expansion as we go on.
Hmm, I get you. So, what makes your platform different from other e-commerce platform? Is
Mhm.
yeah, let me let you answer that.
Yeah, yeah. The major difference is like our categories where we are specifically highlighting our eco-consciousness and the earth-friendly products. Usually, the other e-commerce platform they have this category is added as like a subcategory for their
Mm,
all bunch of products, but Green Earth is specifically designed to only include these the sustainable and the healthy products. So that makes us unique. And another USP I would say is that where we support the small businesses, the women-led NGOs, and we also take part apart from this e-commerce platform. I would like to add Green Earth also collaborates with different I would say pediatricians or hospitals where we are providing these healthy products to the special children's or kids.
mm, I get you. Okay, so how do you define an eco-friendly brand in practice? So how do you decide who to take on, who is actually eco-friendly, not just you know claiming to be?
Mhm. Right, yeah, of course. I mean that's like the major responsibility of the consumer on how to understand the eco-friendly brand and how to read the information about the brand. I would say the most important aspect is understanding the label. So let's say if you are going to the market, you're searching for the eco-friendly or the healthy products, then I would say try to understand how the packaging is and what are the core ingredients. Don't just go for the don't just go for the buzzwords, or let's say if it says there are always some of the hidden words or the ingredients which are not mentioned on the packaging. So my request would be understanding how the story of the brand, and as well as understanding how the manufacturing process is and what are the core ingredients that you are consuming or you are using.
I see. The question on my mind is that maybe somebody watching this will be like, okay, maybe can you give me three things I should be looking to see on the label? And that's looking to see, and then maybe three things that if I see this run,
Mhm.
this is not eco-friendly. Maybe that will make it easier for somebody to take that actionable tip and make use of it the next time they are shopping.
Mhm. Yeah, so some things like there are some of like the great certifications that you can look for, like the organic farming certification, if there's something in the food, or like the B certification or the kosher certification. So there are lots of like the like a standard certification which have the rigorous examination process, and that you can rely on to see if the product is sustainable or not. Another thing is like even though the brand says like even the brand is claiming like if it does have like the 60% of products are sustainable, I would like the I would want the consumers to look into the overall like the all other ingredients or all other compositions are involved. Let's say if something is like polished, if something is not polyester but something is like the recycled polyester, then again like, oh, even though it's the recycled one, but then we need to understand the full cycle of the product. Like there is still there are a lot of challenges on decomposition of such a product. So even though it's a recycled one, so something like that, I would like the consumers to focus more on the small ingredients. And another one is like it's like, let's say, what is the origin of the products. So if you are like I would like to request like, if try to see for like the local products which are locally made, and avoid like the packed food. So if you are comparing, like if you are taking like two items, like the grocery item, and one is like completely food packed and one's like fresh on the local, so then of course like local is something that's more sustainable, biodegradable, and helpful for your health as well as nature.
Mm. I get you. So one of the things you talked about in terms of what to look for is certification, which you talked about organic certification, sustainable certification, which means for somebody to pass through these certifications, they must have shown some certain things to meet that certification. So it's like, okay, you can rely on the certification.
Yeah,
And then if somebody's saying more than 60% of our ingredients are sustainable, right? It's like, well, since they did not say 100, that means what are the other 40? That means be cautious and
yeah,
take a closer look. And then you mentioned
yeah,
polyester, and that's something to watch out for. That is not biodegradable, right? But some people can say recycle, recyclable. But the fact that they're saying recyclable does not mean they will recycle it. So it's like, okay, watch out for that as well. And then you talked about the brand story. I get it. And generally speaking, like if something is local as well, it also means maybe it has not been packaged for long-term use. It- it-
right,
yeah. So okay. Because these are questions that somebody watching will just be like, okay, how do I how do I take the information we're discussing here and make use of it at the grocery store? But also because we have a lot of entrepreneurs watching this show as well, this is something for that entrepreneur who is building an eco-friendly brand to say, okay, do I have my certification yet? Even though my product is 100% sustainable or eco-friendly, perhaps that certification is going to help somebody observing it
yeah, yeah, of course,
to recognize that this
yeah.
it is what I say it is.
Yeah, and additionally, like just not look into like if there is someone who is trying to build a sustainable brand or create some eco-friendly brand, then just don't just look into what your products will be, but also understand the process of the supplier that you will be working with. So
Mm,
that's something, an additional thing. There is like you can go with a strict checklist to understand what where the material sourced from, like raw material sourced, and how it is like, what is the after processing, how's the waste being handled, and what are the different like the processes that are done to manage like complete like the waste management or understand. So yeah, so I think that is equally important on while building a brand.
nice. Okay. So these days some people talk about looking green, or they call it greenwashing. First of all,
Mhm.
what is that? If you say somebody's greenwashing, what does that mean? And how do I, maybe let's start with what does that mean?
Yeah. So first of all, like greenwashing is something where the companies are making the false claim that they are um, they are fulfilling the sustainability goals, or they are contributing to the eco-friendly principles, I would say. So that's the basic meaning of greenwashing.
Mm, okay, false claim.
Yeah, false claims.
Mm, I see. So how do you know when a company is greenwashing? Does it fall back to the things you explained before, which is more like if you're able to identify, if you're not seeing the things you're supposed to see, that means, and this company is claiming to be green, then that means they are greenwashing. Or can you tell me more?
Yeah, of course. So it let's say to give you an example, if something is like it says like it's a no sugar, but then when you read on the back of the ingredients, you see like there are like this artificial sweeteners or artificial flavors are added, even though it says like a natural flavor, but when you look on the back, there are like artificial flavors, or it says like the essence are added. So it's something like the company is not doing what it's telling. So that can be called as greenwashing.
Mm. Is that legal? Is this something that somebody can like I don't want to say is it allowed, because nobody would just be like we allow greenwashing, but like are there consequences for this?
Uh, there are definitely consequences of this, but it's mainly like there is a I would say, let's say if there are few terminologies like I would say it's like the consumer's responsibility, or it depends completely on consumer like what they are looking for. Sometimes like the so if you look into like the food labeling, so we are aware like the certain like the high sugar or the low sodium that are definitely not allowed, or there are like strict rules for that. But then also in order to satisfy the consumer's taste or taste buds, so there are like the sweeteners and this added. So yeah, it's like the alternatives or like the ways. But yeah, that's the reason I would like the consumers to understand, to create that habit, and to train their minds to understand what are like the good do's and the don'ts, and there are some things that needs to be sacrificed let's say in terms of taste, for example. So yeah, so I would say, yeah, that's how it is.
I get you. And because of the idea, like the fact that some people we greenwash or claim to be green but they are not, I believe that this also creates problem for those who are truly green, because now it's like you say you are green and then somebody's doubting you and they have to look and look. So how can an entrepreneur that is building an eco-friendly brand build trust?
Yeah. For anyone like who's looking to build an eco-friendly brand, he needs to focus on like having a clean message. So understand what are like their USPs, and what is that clear message, and who is the targeted audience. That should highlighted in each and every marketing campaign that's been conducted. um, right now the social media is like the great platform that every founder looks for. So I would say like collaborating with that such kind of influencers, or like having that kind of advertisement where you are clearly communicating the vision and mission of the company, that will help you to build the brand value. Simultaneously, like if you are collaborating with like the leaders in that industries, who have like the well established or the faithful like the trustworthy consumer base, then that will also help you to create that a big brand value that you're
Mm,
looking for.
mm. One of the things I've seen you mention is collaboration, right? With people who
Yeah.
are already known to be doing what you want to do.
Yep.
Okay. Uh, So, how do you communicate sustainability to customers without overwhelming them? And I'll buttress because sometimes, when it's like, okay, when you say, okay, look at the ingredients, look at this, some people just feel like, I mean, how many things am I buying from the store and how many of them am I going to read?
Right.
But what are the so how do you communicate sustainability? That brings me back to the question because for the average consumer who wants to, get to note things at the snap of finger, right? As they are moving, instead of like read, calculate numbers.
Yeah, I agree. So, I mean, there are different ways on how you can communicate your message to the consumers. So basically, the strategies that that businesses used in general is to understand what your consumer is referring to, like when he's looking for, like they generalize like the information for any product in the market. So right now, if you want to if you want to take the example of the social media, so instead of just communicating like look into this like ingredients or like the labels or so on, the main thing that the companies needs to do is like we need to communicate like what are the consequences if we don't do that. So let's say like we need to inculcate that sense of responsibility between the consumers so that they will understand the importance of what they should do and why they are required to do this. For example, if I want to give you an example, so annually there are like 23 billions of plastic toothbrushes are being wasted. So if which is like a huge number. So if we just if we want to like create that sense of responsibilities, then we'll have this thing we'll try to communicate this to our consumers. And that's when, after realizing that, that's when the consumer will shift and will encourage or embrace to the bamboo brushes or the alternative, which are like more eco-friendly products. So
Hmm.
similarly, like if we look into there are different there are different food items which have like extremely high sugar or high sodium, so which are like harmful for our health. If we look into like our world health statistics, so there are like more than 850 million people who are like diabetic, or like there are billions of people who are suffering from anemia. So these are some of the statistics that we need to communicate that to the consumers, and we need to help them understand that what is the need of consuming the eco-friendly and the healthy products. And because this does not only help yourself, but it's basically helping your like the whole generation, I would say, and as well as the earth. So yeah, so we are not just communicating about the product, but we are helping the consumers to understand like why they should make that move.
I get it. So it's like one has to look beyond the brand and what the brand is offering, but also like giving a holistic picture. Because just like what even you explaining it, right? When you say, "Oh, this amount of plastic toothbrush," is like, "Oh, I get it. Why we need the wo- bamboo toothbrushes?" Because if you just see bamboo toothbrushes, it's like, well, mine is the one I'm using is okay. And like the brain does not automatically make the comparison until it is reminded to do so. That's good. Great insight. So you mentioned before micro impacts, macro change. Can you unpack what you really mean in terms of consumer behavior? My
Um,
micro impact and macro change.
Yeah, so in terms of like the changes or the impact that consumer makes, as we discussed about. So first of all, like they are like understanding or embracing itself, like these eco-friendly products are basically they are making a huge impact in reducing the waste on the planet. For example, like having going for the biodegradable products, we are reducing the tremendous plastic waste or different kind of like the toxic substances that are being which are difficult to decompose. Then also like understanding, making a small habits. Let's say if you want to travel somewhere near, then using like a bike, or using a greener fuel. So that's something like, these are some of the ways where you're making like a small step, but then your contribution is making a huge impact to the earth. So yeah, going with the local products rather than something which is like a plastic pack. So again, you are not only impacting the earth, but you're also consuming something that's healthy. So yeah, there are like lots and lots of small changes, making like having the awareness about the water conservation, like avoid wasting much water, as well as whatever is the food waste, the family can use that to make like a degradable compost. So yeah, there are a lot of like these small activities that any family can inculcate, which can have like both micro and macro impacts.
Mm, I get it. Is it important to be transparent uh when communicating to your customers about things like supply chain, emission, sourcing? Like, I understand that the entrepreneur has to care about these things in developing
Mhm.
the um, eco-friendly brand. But the point is, do you need to? Is it important, like, to put it maybe on the labeling or marketing communication? What's your opinion?
I definitely agree to that. It is something that helps the consumer to build that trust, and have that trust with the brand. Let's say like, let's say if you are communicating something that these your products is being produced from the locally sourced material, or like the local businesses, then that is something that gives that sense of like the trust, and that helps the consumer to understand like where the products is coming from. So to give you an example, we do have like if you understand, like there are some items like the sorghum or millets and versus like rice or wheat. So these if you see the packaging of some of like the eco-friendly food products, they will try to compare the carbon footprint or the water conservation percentage, or even like how healthy the healthy the product is as compared to the other competitors, or some of the other competitors in the market. So I think it's definitely helpful to be more transparent, and to have like those cleaner ingredients on your packaging, and as well as all the communication channels that the company is using to market their product.
Okay. Okay, let's look at impact measurement. What is impact measurement?
Mhm. Yeah, impact measurement is something that's the matrix that is used to understand what is the level of impact that your particular like the product is making. So it's the term that helps the consumer or any other person to understand what is the what's the percentage, or it can be used as like the comparing factor, uh, if the person wish to compare that with the other products or the competitor products.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. I was looking at it from, okay, impact measurement,
Mhm.
measuring impact for your company, but then, you brought another aspect of it, which is for comparing. So it's like, if two brands are doing maybe similar thing, maybe looking at their impact measurement, you can tell who is doing more for the planet. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, and it counts in each like any category. So even if you're going for anything that's like a daily use products or like the food products, anything that you use, there is always that uh, impact metrics which help you to compare that with the other competitive products.
I get it. So how does a founder decide on what to measure when it comes to impact measurement?
It's basically trying to understand what is the major issue, or what's the major problem that the brand or the product is trying to resolve. And the second like the key factor would be, what is the consumer's understanding? So if we go back to the example of the bamboo toothbrush, we can say like, okay, the impact factor would be the percentage of the plastic that it's replacing. So that's like the first or like the quickest and the easiest metrics that you can add on your packaging or any other communication channel, which will help the consumer to understand like how it can create the impact. And then another metrics you can say is what is the percentage of the carbon footprint that's been reduced with the use of this product.
Yeah, I'm listening. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that's these are like some of the key, like these are two main factors that, yeah, that any company or any business should use to market their brand.
Okay. So the first one you mentioned is like the amount of plastic you are replacing. Then the other one is carbon footprint.
Yeah,
Okay.
there are many impact factors. So you can also talk about the number of SDG goals, which are like sustainable development goals that your product is contributing to. Then other is like the water conservation, the percentage of water that's been consumed by manufacturing your particular product. So yeah, and another is like the number of certifications that your product holds versus your competitors. So yeah, there are like a lot of impact factors that the company can look into, or like the consumer can look into.
Mm, I get it. So um it's not always easy for a brand to, focus
Mhm.
on purpose and, helping the planet. So how, you know, what's been your approach to balancing purpose with profitability?
Mhm. Yeah. So first of all, like the basic like the vision or the reason why Green Earth is was it was to have like a large impact. So at the time, like during the creation, it definitely the purpose was the first and the most factor that was included. Understanding and till date, the main mission of the greener to like contribute more on the purpose side than to the profitability. I understand profitability is definitely something that helps the company to sustain, but like the mission of the greener is to try to reach the masses. Like are always we are always taking that effort to reach like the communities which are which are in need of the eco-friendly products. So for example, like as I mentioned, like we are not only focusing on the online channels, we are also working on like the offline channels to like like to have the collaboration with the special treats where we can give them like healthy products, or like visit to the visit to any commercial events or like the exhibitions where we can show our products, and where we can help the consumers to educate about the sustainable products. So yeah, so definitely the foundation of Green Earth is basically to have like to create like a larger impact.
I get it. Okay, so you mentioned trade shows, for example, but so I want to ask you a more rounded question that includes that, which is how do you identify, partners, suppliers, collaborators, people that maybe will list their own products on your e-commerce, um, and are there red flags entrepreneurs should look out for, like,
Yeah.
uh,
So yeah, so we have like a detailed checklist that my team reviews with each and every vendors that we work with, or even the NGOs or any businesses that we connect with. So this checklist involves a rigorous questionnaire where something like the purpose of the business, or how is the sourcing made, or what are the specification of the raw materials, how the raw material is been sourced, what is the after processing treatments, what are the different treatments, or how is the wastage being handled, what are different strategies to reduce the waste, or Are there any specific goals like the sustainable development goals that companies currently contributing to? So yeah, there are like the bunch of detailed questionnaire that we have, and this is something that each and every supplier or the vendor has to go through it, and that's our basic, like the first criteria to shortlist the suppliers.
I get you. Before we talked about maybe red flags, but we talked about it based on what a consumer should look out for, right? And all of that. But
Hmm.
in terms of identifying entrepreneurs now or people to work with, this is a different angle as well. We mostly looking at the back end, the sourcing, the supply chain, and things like that. So, are there red flags? Why I'm asking that is because if an entrepreneur is coming up with an eco-friendly brand, then they know that, oh, I should watch out for this, because if
Hmm.
a prospective collaborator see this, is going to be a red flag. So I better fix it now, right? So that's what I'm asking. Are there red flags that when you are interviewing people, collaborators, suppliers, and you see this and you're like, no, we can't go with this brand?
Hmm. Yeah, so there are definitely some of the false claim that manufacturers do in order to like attract more customers. So yeah, the one thing like I would like to mention is go into much deeper evaluation. We need to engage the team for like a longer time, and probably like visiting the facility once before having like the contract. I understand that there are some cases where we are working with the overseas supplier, but working with them, like trying to understand, visiting the facility, understanding like the complete process, the full cycle, it's something that helps to identify these red flags or these false claims. So false claims are something that's the most important thing. So let's say like there are some vendors which like clearly says like we do have these kind of certifications and our products are aligned with it, but it's clearly not. So yeah, there are like a lot of past budgets or maybe like the past sales data or the distribution data that will help you, or there are like different analysis, like the, for example, like the food analysis or different certification for that, where you can test the samples in the lab. So yeah, you can definitely cross check that and verify the all the claims.
Hmm. I see. Okay. Many early stage founders want to do good, create a great
Hmm.
product, but get stuck on cost, because sometimes creating something the sustainable way may be even more expensive than, creating it the regular way that may not
Hmm.
take planet Earth into consideration. What are smart ways to embed sustainability without inflating cost of production?
Yeah. So first of all, like having that habit, I would say it's the simplest way uh, to create that awareness of the or embrace the sustainability. Let's say like simply as we talked about earlier, like making the consumers should understand like that each and every purchase is contributing towards sustainability or making like some kind of impact, probably negative or positive. So they should understand this level of impact, and that's how develop these like good habits where they can easily understand what are the do's and the don'ts. For example, like in terms of water conservation, there are like a lot of instances even in the household where we don't realize that how much water wastage or the electricity wastage that we are doing it. So yeah, adapting these kind of like small habits will definitely contributes and make like a huge impact. Some like apart from that, joining the communities or talking about with your friends or peers, talk about like the eco-conscious products and support these kind of like sustainable brands. Like it not only like help you to like go more into it, but it also create that awareness among your communities. Apart from that, then understand what is the waste management. So something that if you're building a business, understand how you are managing the waste. Try to recycle right. Try to recycle or understand the full cycle of the product from procuring like the raw material sourcing till production and also like the post production, how the material has been handled. So yeah, these are some of like the small activities that where you don't need to invest more, but still you can make a impact.
I get it. Okay. Um, you mentioned something similar to this, but let me ask you the question. How do you educate consumers to care about the less known yet impactful products on your e-commerce? I know before when you were talking, you mentioned something about um, talking about the maybe what the product is doing for it, right? Like beyond the product. But I don't know if you have other answers around how to educate customers to care about less known yet impactful product on your e-commerce.
Yeah, so the major the major path or the major way is the same that we just discussed earlier. It's basically understand where your consumer is investing much of their time, and what are different medias there where they are engaged on, and understanding that your consumer behavior is the key aspect, and based like act accordingly to that to deliver any like whatever message that you want to deliver. So in let's say for green earth, we are always focusing on like trying to like helping consumers to understand how their product or how their purchasing is making a huge impact, and not just on their health but as well as on the complete planet.
I get you. Okay. You talked about like maybe even before um taking up a brand, sometimes you may even visit their
Mhm.
facility. Do you have maybe an example to share or like a case study of maybe a brand that you have welcomed into your ecosystem, your e-commerce recently, that is doing an amazing thing,
Doing an
doing something amazing? Like
oh
do you have story to
okay,
share with us? Yeah.
yeah, of course. So so yeah, if you consider the food products that are on the website, so most of the food products are they are the millet based. So millet is something that's an ancient ingredient which has been used in Asia and Africa since like thousands of years ago. So it's been it's a staple there. And if you look into the impact of these ingredients, it consumes like uh, it has like the water conservation, it takes like 5 times lesser than wheat and rice, and as well as the footprints reduction is like almost like 25% of less footprint reduction for growing the millets. And not only the impact, but if you understand the nutrient value, it is like rich in fiber, rich in iron, magnesium, and as well as protein. So this is like the base ingredients that been used for any like the gluten free products. So similarly, so one of our suppliers have been have like a huge experience in manufacturing these products, where they have like they are collaborating directly with the farmers. So there is like no middleman, and where the contribution which also helps the farmer to get uh, like more wages or the more returns as expected. So that's the huge impact that the company is making right now. And these products are currently being sourced at like 575 different stores like all over the world. So yeah, and as I mentioned, we are not that's the reason like we are not only promoting the brand on the e-commerce platform, but we are also increasing our reach to different like the consumers which are like someone who is affected from the celiac disease, or someone who has like who has the anemia, or those are in search of like the some of like the healthy or the clean label products. So yeah, we are trying to reach that community and helping them to uh, yeah to like increasing their awareness about the millets. So yeah, that's this is the one brand that that I'm really proud of, and like proud of their impact that they are making on the SDG goals.
Mm, nice, nice, nice. This is not this is not the first time hearing about millets. I've I've eaten millet before. In some
Okay,
part,
okay.
in northern part of Nigeria, when we used to live there, like millet was a popular meal. That you
Oh,
use
okay.
it to do many things. So hearing you talk about it, I know that even before it got recommended to us, then it was on health basis. Like, hey, this is really good. So
Yeah,
that's amazing that such products is making their way back even into worldwide stores.
yeah, I agree. Even the sorghum, which is like just the kind of a, it's a type of a millet. So even that has a huge impact on like on our health as well as the as well as on earth, because these are some of the products which doesn't require like a lot of water. They are like drought free crops.
Mm.
So yeah, so it's easy for farmers to cultivate them, and yeah, definitely helpful for our healthy or health.
Yeah. Sorghum, is it the same thing as guinea corn? Do, do, do you have an idea?
Uh, Sorghum is, if I want to like tell you the texture, I would say it looks like quinoa, but it's a little bit bigger in size,
Mm.
and it's like white in color.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, um, if a founder tells you that they want to, create an eco-friendly product, what will be your first strategic question that you are going to ask them?
Yeah. So, first of all, if there is any brand who is willing to create the eco-friendly products, I would like to understand the purpose of the product and what's the problem that they are trying to solve. Yeah, because if you're not focused on like, or if you don't have the clarity of the consumer base, or what is this behavior of the consumer, of what they're what problem you're solving on, then creating the product wouldn't make any sense. So yeah, so first of all, I would like to understand the vision and the mission of the company, and what is the major like the problem statement of the company that they are trying to resolve.
Hmm, I I get it. Now, a lot of times an eco-friendly brand, is kind of promoted from that angle of, okay, eco-friendly brand, and then you see maybe something like um when you talked about, like, okay, maybe people that have certain health
Hmm.
issues, but how do we make eco-friendly brands mainstream, right? Like something that everybody should
Hmm.
should use it, because it shouldn't even really be for, if you have this
Yeah.
issue, if you have this health issue, if it is healthy, if it is good. Let me give you an example. So something can be what's the word now? Maybe gluten free, right? And then it can look like, oh, it is only for people who need gluten free product. But a normal person who is not affected by gluten can still eat gluten
Yeah.
free product, So how do we make, like, if somebody is looking to make their eco friendly brand mainstream, what are the steps they can take?
Yeah. So first of all is like, I would say, design the packaging which gives that clear message on what you're trying to convey, or who are the targeted consumers, and again, like adding the health benefits. So there are like various packaging designs that I have came like seen where the product itself has like a great value, but the packaging design it doesn't communicate that. And the reason being, and that's the reason like the consumers are that's still kept on the shelf. So yeah, the first thing is like how you're communicating your message to the consumer is the most important aspect, and you should have that inculcated in each and every place where the consumer is facing or will be looking at, maybe like in social media or your packaging or your website or any blog that you are looking at, or any interviews or anything, any promotional events on such. Other aspect is like working, trying to understand the cost. uh, I agree that like the sustainable products might go into a little bit higher because they have like various. They are being manufactured with a lot of, I would say, care, and there are different aspects like certification, and there are a lot of efforts that goes into producing these products. But marketing your products or having labeling them at the competitive pricing is the important aspect as well. That makes it easy for the consumer to make that choice. If you're going for somewhere like between $7 snack, and then if your product is labeled at something like $15 or $20, then it's definitely like hard for one class of consumers to like purchase that or make that decision. So yeah, so having like the right price point is a major aspect. Other than that, like there are different like the packaging material, or that is one additional factor too. I have seen like a lot of brands who do have their eco-friendly products, but then the packaging is like the plastic, or like yeah, the plastic wrappers or something like that. So yeah, try to understand the uh, like the message that the brand wants to communicate with the consumers, and act accordingly, or you need to take the efforts accordingly.
Hmm. I get you because it's like, okay,
Mm.
if your eco-friendly product is still packaged with plastic, so it's like,
Yeah.
but aside plastic, what else can the person consider? Can the entrepreneur consider packaging with?
So aside plastics, you can still use the like the brown boxes. That that's a good alternative. Other than that, the paper bags. So the paper bag is a good alternative as well. But yeah, I mean, there are few exceptions I would like to mention over here. So there are few food items that if you want to achieve the longer shelf life, so you need to opt for the plastic packaging. But then there are different grades of plastic that you need to look at. So there are also some of the biodegradable or the degradable plastics, or the plastic tapes, which are currently available. So yeah, the company can definitely look into other options while making that decision.
I get it. Okay, so in your opinion, what are the myths or misconceptions about eco-friendly brands?
um, I would say uh, misconceptions. I don't recall any of the misconceptions, but some of the misconceptions, like what I feel, I have seen like consumers doing it, that if you go into any like e-commerce website, and if you see like some of like green leaf or any of like the symbol, um, like a eco-friendly symbol, then consumers tend to believe easily, and they overlook the other product details or other specifications of the product, and they tend to buy it, like they just make like that quick decision. So I just believe that that's something like that's a mistake, or that's something that should be looked at.
Mm, I get you. Okay. Um, are there loopholes entrepreneurs looking to start eco-friendly brands should be aware of?
Yep. So if you're looking for like to start with the eco-friendly brand, then something I would like to first understand the problem, as well as the market research. Yeah, there are some areas where like the founder need to understand what are the geographic areas where the product needs to be, like which has the high demand, and they need to perform their activities accordingly. Other like one of the major loophole, as we discussed earlier, is like evaluating their vendors or the suppliers, and trying to understand the complete business process or the manufacturing process that they will be dealing into, because that's where the major flaws will be, like you will see.
I get it. Mm, okay. Um, Is there a psychological aspect you think most entrepreneurs underestimate when trying to build an eco-friendly brand?
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, right now, based on our like the current demand of sustainability and the general awareness throughout the world, there is definitely a sense of awareness between the founders and the consumers that which also motivates them to move towards the sustainability. If we see like there are a lot of brands which are trying in terms of like clothing or food or any like the daily use item, so we are seeing these companies trying like moving towards the sustainability or like eco-friendly products. So yeah, definitely there is this sense of something like that the founder wants to have that huge impact at the global level. So yeah, this is something that is motivating them and inspiring them to like introduce sustainability into their branding as well, or their product as well.
Okay. Um, I have a question. So, what advice will you give to entrepreneurs who are struggling with rejection or slow traction, yet feel called to build something with impact?
Um, yeah, so rejection is something that you can never like avoid it. It is something that it's a part of life. The only thing that I would like to recommend or would tell everyone, like, just take it as a constructive feedback. I would say try to learn from your rejection, understand what caused the rejection, and what if this is not, then what was the better way that you could have acted, just in order to like maybe mitigate it or have that positive feedback. So yeah, just have that positive attitude towards your rejection, and just yeah, accept it, most importantly.
I get you. Okay, so let's circle back to green out, right?
Mhm.
Um, what do you want the world to remember about the brand?
Yeah. So yeah, the one of the like the major aspect that I would like to like I want my consumers to remember is the impact that the green earth is making, not only on not only on like the planet or the health as we talked, but it's also helping like supporting the different communities or the small communities or the small NGOs. And yeah, so the one thing I would like the consumers to understand the overall like the efforts that the company put into to have like these curated handpicked products for them, and yeah, the impact that the company is making on.
Okay. So let me ask you maybe a much more nearer question, which is
Mhm.
what's your 5 years like what's the vision for Green Arts in the next 5 years?
In the Indian, sorry.
In the next 5 years, what's the vision?
Oh, okay. The mission of the Green Earth is pretty simple. We our aim is to reach to the masses. So our aim is to so right now the market for sustainability is like it's a $300 billion market, and expected with like a high CAGR. So our aim is to try to reach the maximum consumer as we can, and simultaneously our the Green Earth, we want to develop this e-commerce platform as a one place for to shop your all the daily activities. So right from starting your morning till your day ends, so whatever are the products that you will be using, so the Green Earth will be the one place where you can find all your sustainable products.
Nice. This is going to help maybe somebody listening, maybe looking to bring their products to your e-commerce platform. Do you take products from outside Canada, and
Yep.
you take product
Yeah.
from everywhere or certain
Yep.
region?
No, Green Earth is open in. We are open to take products from any region outside Canada. So yeah, even the overseas products.
Okay. What about, do you ship worldwide or to certain regions?
So currently we are focused on shipping to North America.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. What would you want the world to remember about you as a founder?
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, that's an interesting question. But yeah, I mean, if someone, the one thing that I would like people to remember about me is the impact or like the contribution that I made to the community. Um, yeah, I think that's that's the one of like the major thing that I would love to have.
I get it. Okay. So my last question, which is what is the one question you wish that I asked you, but I have not asked you yet?
Um, I think actually you pretty much like covered each and every aspect. So yeah, that was impressive. Um,
Thank you.
but yeah, the one thing that I mean we already talked about it, and the only thing that I would like to like reiterate in during our whole conversation, like the end of the conversation, is that requesting the consumers to have like create that habit and sense of eco-consciousness that will help to that will create like put a small step ahead towards the impact.
Hmm. I get the micro actions that can lead to macro impacts.
Yeah,
Exactly. Okay. Good. Thank you very much, Jagruti, for coming and sharing your insights with us and the listeners as well. So, wish you the best with your business.
yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great talking to you. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thanks. And for everyone watching us right now, thank you very much and see you next episode.
Thank you.
Okay.